Yes, people. Hope everyone's having a blessed day. Now, I've been on this self growth entrepreneurial journey consistently for the last year and a half. And I realize how nobody really talks about what happens when you start changing. Because people celebrate growth, right? They tell you to evolve, they tell you to level up, they tell you to become the best version of yourself. But what they don't tell you is what it costs. What they don't mention is that the stronger you become, the more you realize that not everyone is meant to come with you. And that's the part that stings. Because one day you wake up and you realize the people you used to be connected to, the relationship just doesn't feel the same anymore. The conversations start to feel empty. The energy's off. The things that you used to laugh about, suddenly they don't seem so funny. The places you used to go don't feel home anymore. The habits, the routines, the distractions, everything that once felt a normal part of life now feels small, and at first you try to ignore it. You're going to tell yourself it's just a phase, that you're just in your own head, that maybe you're the one that's changing too much. Maybe you're the one that's being difficult, so you try to shrink yourself. You pretend, you laugh at jokes that aren't funny anymore. You join in conversations that feel meaningless. You sit in rooms where you don't belong anymore. Also, you don't make anyone else feel uncomfortable. Because deep down, you don't want to admit what's really happening. You've outgrown them. That's a hard thing to accept. Not because, and you don't think that because you think you're better than anyone. It's not because you want to leave anyone behind, but it's because you thought they'd grow with you. You thought they'd see what you'd see. You thought they'd want more for themselves the same way you do. But reality is they don't. And now you're stuck in a space where the old life doesn't fit anymore, but a new one hasn't fully formed, and you're just in this kind of limbo stage, and it's uncomfortable. Because what do you do when the people you love no longer understand you? They don't fully get the mission that you're on. What do you do when you feel like a stranger in circles that you used to belong to? And truth is, nobody prepares you for this. And to be honest, I don't really think anyone can. They don't tell you that the journey can be lonely. And unfortunately, unless you've got a group of people around you who are on the same mission, the journey will be lonely. Because changing your mindset means that you're going to lose people. And not everyone will clap for you when you start moving different. And when that happens, it's tempting to slow yourself down so they can catch up, to stay where it's comfortable, to stop reaching higher so people around you don't feel left behind. But here's what you need to understand. Staying small to make others feel comfortable won't serve you, bro. You're not responsible for their insecurities. You're not responsible for their lack of ambition. You're not responsible for making them feel okay about staying the same. Your only responsibility is to keep going. And that's not easy. Because it hurts to realize that the people you dreamed of being on top with, the people, when you envisioned a life of success, you picture these people by your side. These are the people that you come to realize were only meant to know a past version of you. And it's painful to feel connections fading, to sense a distance growing between you and the people that you once called family, and you still probably do. But you have to understand it's part of the process. See, when you start elevating, when you start thinking bigger, when you start demanding more from yourself, you force people around you to look at themselves. And it's uncomfortable. Because when they see you moving, when they see you growing, when they see you become something new, they have two choices. They step up with you or they pull back. And some will rise, some will be inspired, some will hear your vision and say, let's go. And others, unfortunately, they'll take growth as an insult. They'll say you changed as if that's a bad thing. They'll remind you of who you used to be, a version of yourself that you're trying to step away from, hoping it will keep you from stepping into the path that you envision. They're going to make little comments, little jokes about what you're on now, just trying to make you doubt yourself, because seeing you change reminds them that they have. And rather than stepping up, rather than challenging themselves, it's easier for them to pull you back down. You have a choice. You can dim your light, make them feel comfortable. Or you can shine regardless. You can try to fit into a version of yourself that no longer exists. Or you can walk brazenly into what's next. Because if that means losing some people along the way, then so be it. Because if they're meant to be in your life, they wouldn't be threatened by your new growth. They'd be inspired by it. They wouldn't distance themselves. They'd adjust. They wouldn't make you feel guilty for evolving. They'd evolve with you. And if they don't, then you didn't lose them. They just got off at their stop. And that's okay, because not everyone's meant to go the whole journey with you. Not everyone is capable of walking this path. Some people are only meant to be chapters, not the whole story. And when their part of the story ends, you have to let them go. Even if it's just for the time being. Because if you hold on to people who are no longer aligned with you, all you're doing is slowing yourself down. You'll keep feeling that resistance. You'll keep feeling drained, uninspired, and held back. And deep down, you'll know why. Because you're surrounding yourself with people that don't push you, people who don't challenge you, people who don't force you to think bigger. And at some point, you have to ask yourself, who do you want to become? There's that big saying that we've all heard, your network is your net worth, and that is so true, because you can't grow in an environment that wants to keep you small. You can't reach higher when you're surrounded by people who are comfortable at the bottom. You can't fly when you're chained to people who are afraid of leaving the ground. So as painful as it is, you got to make peace with this truth. Not everyone can come with you. And if you're from certain backgrounds, that's a hard pill to swallow. And the longer you try to hold on, the more you're going to suffer. Because when you force relationships that no longer fit, when you keep yourself tied to people who aren't meant to stay, you block yourself from people. You block yourself from the people who are. The people who will push you. The people who will understand you. The ones who won't just celebrate your growth, but they're going to grow with you. And you deserve that. So don't feel guilty for evolving. Don't apologize for outgrowing places, people, and mindsets that no longer align with you. Because you weren't meant to stay the same. You were meant to keep growing. And the right people, they'll keep up. Or they'll step aside. Either way,